Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a productive week, and I hope you will have an enjoyable, peaceful, and elevating Shabbos. This week's Erev Shabbos Videos of our Torah is sponsored by Jody and Kevin Kaufman in memory of Kevin's grandfather, Rav Yisrael ben Menachem Halevi Zechron Levracha, who was the rabbi of the first ever branch of Young Israel on the Lower East Side in 1911. His yahrzeit was observed on the 11th of Cheshvan. His neshama should have an aliyah. It is an extra merit, more meaningful for us, a Young Israel branch, to remember him. And we thank Jody and Kevin for the sponsorship. This week's Erev Shabbos videos of our Torah also, as always, should be a merit for everyone in Israel, for the hostages that remain in Gaza. Today's day 406, that they're in captivity, as a merit for all the soldiers who are fighting and the entire country. We continue this week the parshas of Avraham Avinu, and Avraham is both our model of how someone finds Hashem, finds Emunah, finds faith and belief in Hashem, and also how a person can teach it and can share it with others. And it's interesting that Chazal, through the Midrashim, depict those two aspects of Avraham's Emunah in different ways. What I mean by that is as follows. The Midrashim describe that Avram found Hashem in particular by looking at the world, looking at the natural world, looking up at the stars in the sky, and realizing to himself, this all didn't just happen by chance. There obviously is a creator of this beautiful and organized world. And that is along that path how he found Hashem and gained his emunah, his faith and trust in Hashem. However, when Avram tried to share that with others, the Midrashim don't describe that he gathered people together and took them on walks in the night under the Mesopotamian sky or in the land of Israel, or walked them through beautiful scenes of nature and said, don't you see, isn't nature beautiful? Who could have created this? That is not how he shared his emunah and tried to teach it and inculcate it in others. How did he do that, according to Chazal? Well, there's a pasuk in this week's parsha. Vayita Eshel be'Be'er Sheva. And Avram planted. Eshel is a debate. It either can mean a tree or an orchard or means an inn. He built that in Beersheba, Vayikra b'Shem Hashem Kelalam, and there he called out, he made known the name of God. The Gemara, and it's in the Midrashim as well, describes, assuming that it means that Abraham made an inn to care for people who are traveling. Maybe it also means an orchard, and he had food and fruit to provide them. He would give food for people to eat, and at the end of the meal, after they had eaten and drank, Amdu levarchu, the guests would get up to bless him, Abraham, and to thank him. Abraham, thank you for this delicious meal and for your kindness and hospitality. Amar lahem, and he would tell them, V'chi mishelo achaltem, did you eat of my food? This is not mine. This was a gift that I received. Mishal elokei olam achaltem. You ate from the food, from the gifts of the God of the world, of the eternal God. Hodu v'shivchu baruchu l'misha amar v'hayaolam. Praise, thank, and bless, he would tell them, to the one who said, let there be a world. And through that, he would bring them to understand Hashem, trust Hashem, have emunah in Hashem, and to serve Hashem. So this is a different path. Avram would share his emunah through kindness, through chesed, because there's another way to be inspired and to realize there's a God in the world, and that is not through seeing an amazing creation, but meeting an amazing person. This is the model of how to bring people closer to Hashem. It is through chesed, of course, on a very superficial level. It is through kindness and welcoming that will attract people, of course, but on a deeper level. What Avram did was he showed them a spark of divinity, because when a person acts with kindness, he is expressing, he is revealing, he is projecting his or her Tselem Elokim, his divine image. And when you meet a righteous person, an incredibly giving and kind person, you are seeing some aspect, some spark, some reflection of the divine image. And through that, you can realize this is not just a product of nature. This comes from something divine in the person, or the person was taught the ways of Hashem. And that is another way to realize and to feel and to gain emunah and faith in Hashem. There are so many lessons to learn from this very brief midrash about Abraham. Again, as we said, this is one path of how to find Hashem and how to share our emunah with others. But we learn from this as well that, again, that there are multiple paths. There are many ways to find our Emunah and to strengthen our Emunah. Abraham, the Midrashim say, found it through, again, looking at nature and the stars in the sky. But Abraham realized that wouldn't work for the people that were around him. For them, there would need to be a different gateway, a different path to find their Emunah Hashem. And therefore, he constructed this and he taught this, his Emunah, again, through his acts of kindness. So we learn from here that there's more than one way. There's not only one way to find Emunah and to strengthen our Emunah. And we also learn from this Midrash that Emunah must be taught. You can't just tell someone there's a God. Avram had to, again, find a way to convey it, find a way for them to experience it, to make it real. And Emunah will not just come to us. If a person does not know of Hashem, they have to be taught it in a sophisticated and sensitive and engaging and deep and profound way. But for all of us, whatever level of Emunah we have, to rise to a higher level requires focused thought, concerted effort. It requires finding the right ways, the right paths, the right gateways that can lead us to higher levels of Emunah. Because again, there are multiple paths. We should all follow in the footsteps of Abraham, of both finding and strengthening our own Emunah, living lives that share it with others and inspire others. We should know that there are multiple ways to grow in our Emunah. And like Avram taught us, we should try to find that right path, find that right gate, and we should walk through it. We should be focused. We should always be growing in our Emunah, the foundation of our entire lives, of our entire Torah lives, Jewish lives, human lives, is our Emunah. And we should continue to grow, continue to achieve higher levels, constantly finding new paths and new gateways that all lead to a greater Emunah in Hashem. Everyone should have a good Shabbos and a Shabbat Shalom.